All right, everyone, this is the American Werewolf. It's been a crazy week, but on Friday night, I got for the first time ever to sit inside a cinema house and watch Ridley Scott's Alien. So happy belated Alien Day to everyone out there who's a fan of this cinematic masterpiece, because it really is probably in my top three of all-time favorite horror films, and definitely in my top 10 all-time favorite films. Now, I had started catching some of these anniversary cinema screenings, re-releases in 2003 when I first saw the 30th anniversary of William Friedkin's The Exorcist. And then in 2016, I caught the 40th anniversary of Steven Spielberg's Jaws. And then 2 years ago, I got to see the 40th anniversary of John Carpenter's The Thing. And now, for the first time, getting to see Ridley Scott's Alien on the big screen. Now, I saw Alien when I was about 10 years old. And at that time, that was 1979 when it first dropped. So I was a kid, but I saw it. But 2 miles down the street from where I grew up, there was a local drive-in. So that was where my family took me on Friday night. That was our Friday night activity, and Mom would cook up a big vat of popcorn, and we'd get some candy and treats and sodas and whatever, and sit down and watch the movies inside of our car. Never got a chance to see it on the big screen indoors until Friday. And man, I got to tell you, every time I go to catch one of these anniversary screenings, it really holds up. It's just fantastic to watch. Now, let me get into it a little bit here by saying that I've probably seen this movie a million times. I don't watch it with great frequency, but over the course of 45 years, and it being one of my favorites, every time I sit down to watch it, it absolutely holds up. But seeing it on the big screen, the biggest takeaway that I had from seeing it was the difference in the sound editing, the very small little sounds that, I don't know how good your, audio system is on your home theater, but mine's pretty good. But there's a lot of small sounds that are just exaggerated and exemplified and just booming in your ears. The way the water sort of drips, and when they're out there exploring and going to the ship, when Dallas and Kane and Lambert are going to the ship, the small sounds here and there, just fantastic to watch. The video is pretty much the same as, it always is, but for me, the big treat was to see it and to hear it. To hear it, I think, was the bigger treat this time than actually watching the film, although I was absolutely enraptured. I went to a 6:30 screening on Friday to a mostly empty theater, unfortunately. But it's Friday and people are still working or getting off work or having dinner with their family. So hopefully this weekend, more people will go to see it. More people will, catch some later shows or some matinees during the weekend, and it'll make some money because it deserves to. And everybody should see this. If you get an opportunity to see this on the big screen, I don't care if you've seen it 500 times, a million times, 3 billion times, go to see it on the screen. There's no substitute for it. And that's been the case every single time that I've caught one of these anniversary screenings. I've been very selective. Every time, a big anniversary screening pops up, I don't necessarily go to see it. The ones you've heard about are the ones that I've made a point of catching and haven't been wrong yet. So the screening starts out, though, with a 5-minute conversation between Fede Alvarez, who's the director of the new and upcoming Alien Romulus film, and Sir Ridley Scott. And I thought that this was just an interesting takeaway. You've seen some behind the scenes. I remember once on the Sci-Fi Channel, maybe 25, 30 years ago, they had a special screening with Tom Skerritt, and he was talking about different things. And then getting a chance now to see this conversation and, hearing Ridley Scott talk about it many, many times over the course of 4 decades plus. You don't think you're going to hear anything different, but this was different in the sense that, Ridley Scott was talking about his influences for Alien, which largely leaned towards Stanley Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey, which is something I hadn't thought of before. And he said, obviously, he borrowed a ton of shots from Kubrick, which I saw. Planting that idea in my head, watching it this time, I saw that, oh my God, yeah, that's exactly like a long extended Kubrick shot, or, people moving in this kind of slow motion kind of action. In the beginning of the film. I thought that was great. The parallels between Hal, this sort of all-powerful computer that's definitely on the devious side, and then we have Mother over here. That's something that I never put that two and two together. You could see it there. He talked about how, he was originally struggling to cast the role of Ripley. Everybody just kind of not filling the shoes for what he had in mind. And he said, of all people, Warren Beatty came up to him and said, there's this fantastic actress working off Broadway in New York, of course, and her name is Sigourney Weaver, and you should give her a shot, because he was looking for somebody who was fairly athletic or athletic looking, who looked like they could perform some of this action, fighting and running and, making a stand here, fall back there, so on and so forth. And of course, that turned out to be one of the biggest decisions of his career, and certainly one of the biggest of Sigourney Weaver's career. He also talked about how, in 1979, nobody in that cast was really an A-list star. He said Tom Skerritt was a bit of an A-lister, but not really. So the cast itself felt much more comfortable working together as a team. Nobody, felt the need to fall back, because you've got a Pacino or a De Niro or whoever was a big female actress back then in 1979. And everybody felt, much more an equal part of what was happening, and they are. And when you think about it now, I mean, you look at 1979, 45 years later, that's a real ensemble cast. Sigourney Weaver, Tom Skerritt, who's great as Dallas, Yaphet Kotto, John Hurt, John Hurt, I mean, of all things, Veronica Cartwright, did I say Yaphet Kotto? Harry Dean Stanton, and of course, I think maybe the most important character, and perhaps even equal to Ripley, was Ian Holm as Ash, who to this day is just one of the most evil characters in all of film, or in horror cinema, or in sci-fi horror. He's just this evil little gremlin, emotionless, which is kind of what makes him so terrible. But at the same time, you can almost sense beneath the surface this veneer, this sense of contempt that he has for all the cast members, because his highest priority is to preserve the alien. Getting a look at the alien on the big screen, still very terrifying. I should say that when you go to see this, it is the theatrical version. I thought that there was one scene that they seemed to sort of insert in that I won't get into, but it's not that special director's cut they have with the extended scenes with Veronica Cartwright and the physical altercation with Sigourney Weaver. It's not the alien swinging from the chains that you see getting ready to get the drop on Harry Dean Stanton. It's not the final scene that you have with Dallas at the end of the movie. This is the theatrical version. Maybe it is the best version. I don't know. I think the theatrical version is actually 2 minutes longer than the director's cut, but they have these inserted scenes which are about 2 minutes more, maybe 3, but I can't tell what they've pulled from to make the movie shorter. But you don't have to worry about it here. You're catching the theatrical in all of its glory. Just fantastic to watch. When the alien gets chucked out into space, I was the only one to do it. I didn't care. I clapped. I just thought it was great to watch. And upholding that alien tradition. I'm very much looking forward to Fede Alvarez's Alien Romulus because Fede Alvarez just doesn't pull punches. And so there have been many Alien sequels. You know, we've got Cameron's classic, we've got Fincher's third movie, and then we've got that Resurrection, and then we go with Prometheus, which I appreciated, but you know, then we go with Covenant, which is and then we got the Alien versus Predator sort of things, which were kind of these throwaway movies. But for me, my absolute favorite is the first film, and I'm so glad that I went to see it. I have the Regal app, so Regal Unlimited. I paid $23 a month, so it was free. I paid 53 cents in service fees to go see this movie for the first time, and that was definitely money well spent. So that's my video. I mean, there's nothing new to be extracted out of the film necessarily itself, because it's been 45 years, and I've never done a review of the 1979 film. Maybe at some point I will, but this might actually just suffice because it's just so damn good, and the mood is still good, and the action still holds up, and it hasn't aged a day. It hasn't aged a day. I love the damp sort of feeling that you have on that ship. You know, I mean, you're in space, but, you know, Harry D. Stanton is in this place where just condensation and moisture is just dropping down like this sort of low pressure shower. It just looks cold. It looks uncomfortable and sterile. And people that are just, you know, trying to do their best on these long sort of mining halls now, you know, under attack by this thing that's, you know, they can't get off the ship as it begins to pick them apart one by one. Still, my favorite kill to this day is Tom Skerritt in the catacombs, in the shafts, trying to get away, and actually, because of the scanning device that they have, doesn't have like a 3D sense of things. And so when he lowers down, he sees it coming at him, but he doesn't understand the depth perception, and he lowers himself down right into it. Still got me going. The hair was standing up on my arm. Yeah, still great. Still great. Go see it if you can. It's only here for a limited amount of time. I hope you make it through the week if you haven't already, but go catch it. That's my video. Like this video. Leave a comment. Happy Alien Day. What did you do for Alien Day? Did you go see it? Or did you watch some Alien? Or Aliens? Or, you know, Alien 3 or Resurrection? Or, you know, did you watch something? Are you going to go see Alien Romulus? I am going to be there. Fede Alvarez doesn't fuck around. That Evil Dead remake is still maybe the best remake of all time. Subscribe to the channel. I will see you all in the next video. All right, take care, everyone. Have a great day, and God bless you.